Welcome back to the Great British Churches channel. Today we're at the Assumption of the Virgin in Ufford in Southwold.
So you've got a clock there, and there is a gold statue of the Blessed Virgin.
Yeah.
So we can have a look.
The Assumption. Should we just have a look at this out here first?
Mm-hmm.
We've got, we're in Suffolk in the middle of nowhere. This is hard to actually. We've still got the village stocks, and what these are pillories, aren't they?
Pillory.
Yeah. Isn't that gorgeous?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
We don't use them anymore.
No.
Shame.
That's,
Shame I'd put him in it.
we would, yeah, we can take it in a rich switch. It's, yeah, let's go and have a look at the church.
So that
As you can see, it's beautiful.
just get his big belly out of the way, and you can see the stocks down there as well. We're just standing outside the porch. It's a very busy day today because they've got sort of a fete behind the church. So we're going to quickly go. I think, to be honest, we're going to do this a little bit different.
How are you going to do it?
I think we film the inside and then we'll come out and do the outside, because I think we're going to have a lot of people come in.
We are.
And I know at the moment there is no one in there. So we will show you the outside of the church in a minute. But we have been in here, and this church offers surprise. It really does.
Even the porch is amazing.
It is.
You can see where there was probably head maybe angels, because this is a Suffolk church which is got angels with Tudor roses.
What did I say this was? A 15th century porch, didn't I?
Yeah.
You know, and it's amazing. You know, you've got all this.
The birds green behind you.
Yeah, and you've got this lovely flower carvings here. And we've obviously got a water stoop there. Paula's now fiddling about with that has been restored, but it is there. And this door, I think, must be look at these. Look.
Yeah.
Look, we've got original hinges.
Hinges and bolts here. This these probably go back to before there was a porch built on, because you wouldn't have a door like this with the porch on.
No, well, the porch were normally added to churches to protect this door.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but you've got these old bolts.
But look at this.
But this door is really old as well. And you found a knocker.
That's like a boss of a shield, isn't it? Look at the intricate ironwork. Yeah. And the studs and nails. It
is a really old door. But also, it might not be that old. It's just been weathered on this side. On the other side, it looks a lot newer.
It does, yeah. It does. Oh, got to see the size of the lock is something else coming through. This church dates bits of it from the 11th century. So we're going back to the times of the Conqueror, or if not even just before. So
yeah.
I'm just going to push that door so we can see the back of it. Look at the size of the lock on that.
Yeah.
That key alone would pull your trousers down, wouldn't it? God.
But that is an amazing door. Do you think we could have that back open? Because I don't want someone to come and lock
us in here. Otherwise we'll be in here till tomorrow when they have a service.
Yes.
But this church is it's another one of those wow ones, isn't it?
It is. Right, so here we've got a rather splendid tomb to Henry Wood. Now, I believe, did I say 1671 earlier?
Yeah.
And just look at those ox heads either side. They're just divine.
Stunning.
And then you've got a cartouche up the top there. I don't know what the cartouche is for. I'm standing on ledger stones as well.
It's 3 geezers with shields.
3 men with shields.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Beautiful. I love the bot. You know, I could have that out in my garden.
Yes, I could too. It's sad, but the idea,
I really could have that out in my garden. I'd put some begonias in it.
This tomb is amazing. What about that? It's not often we see a bell.
No, it isn't. Now, if you take hold of that.
I'm taking hold of this.
And then.
Okay.
Now, the tower has, unusually, it's got an 8 ring of bells.
Yeah. And the tower's
and it's
up there.
got a 13th cubic weight tenor bell.
1300 weight.
Thank you. You know I struggle with that one.
Yeah, CWT it's written as, isn't it?
It is, and I keep thinking cubic watt for some reason.
Cubic weight.
Yes.
But look at this, 14th, 15th century.
The 15th century benches, what you're looking at the moment. Now there are things on here, like here, on the left.
Left.
Is St Catherine.
What was?
And on the right, St Margaret, I believe. But there's so many of these bench ends that are just amazing.
We've said before, haven't we? If there's a hole in the top, it was so that there was a light to taper. Because there's no light in these churches back in the time.
No.
And don't forget...
There's a stag here. There is actually a camel.
Let's go around and have a look the other day.
There's a camel there as well.
We see this, that somebody's took exception to that, whatever that was has gone. We've got a headless something or other here. You see the hole in there for the lighter taper? There we go. Let's have a look at these.
Now you want to know about that bell that's on the floor over there?
Yep.
That is 15th century.
Wow.
And it's cast in Norwich by the Braziers. And there's actually an inscription on it.
What does it say?
You're going to want me to say, do this in Latin,
Go on, do the Latin.
I can't do Latin. I'm useless at languages, I promise you. So I apologise to anybody that I'm now going to offend. So, do you want to point it over there?
I'm pointing at the bell.
So it says, Fac Margareta Nobis Hec Minara Later. Margaret makes these offices joyful to us.
That's good of Margaret, wasn't it?
That's what it says on that bell.
That's it. Oh, let's have a look. We've got a bit of an unusual one because there's a history to this church that Mel's going to tell you about.
There's a big history on
Big history to this church. This one has been a bit of a local celebrity for.
There's an Aubrey.
Oh, going back. Yes, there is an Aubrey there. Yeah, that's that box thing in the wall.
Yeah. So that would be there for your oils and salts and anything that was used in the baptism or the mass, and that's where that would be kept there for safety or for security.
Right, but do you want to see the big thing of this place?
Yes.
The big thing.
Yes.
Hang on a minute. Yeah, let's have a look. That is the second tallest font cover in the country, according to Mel's research. And I just want to show you.
Is it Southwold, which is what, 20 miles away?
20 miles away, perhaps, yeah. Let's have a look at the detail on it. I'm just going to angle the camera.
I did find a laminate in the church here. Now, an order was made in 1236 that all fonts should be covered. The purpose is not fully understood, but it is suspected that in medieval times the hallowed water in the font was being used for superstitious purposes. The other reason was simply an early example of health and safety to prevent dirt polluting the water. During the latter half of the 15th century, the skill of the medieval craftsman was at its highest. All the woodwork containing the font cover, the fine chancel roof and the roof loft was added by the Willoughby family. It is likely that the family connection between St Christopher Willoughby and the rector, John Jenny, is the reason for the exceptional wealth of carved woodwork.
It is, I mean, you just can't believe this, how it survived.
It's been painted. It is amazing.
Because if we ever look in the font, we've got a lead-lined font here, but we've said this before, something we didn't realise until quite recently, that the whole child was baptised. It wasn't just a bit of water trickled.
Nowadays it's just a little bit of water put on the forehead in the shape of the cross and that's your baptism. But back in the medieval time, the whole child was submerged in the bowl. And that was so that the water covered every part of the child so the devil had no way of getting in. But this is supposed to be telescopic in some way.
I think I can see how it goes.
But I don't think it's used because it's obviously propped up by these...
Propped up by them bits there.
Bits of wood. The font cover dates from about 1450 and it rises to 18 feet or 5.5 metres.
That is. Up the top there's the pelican.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can make that out there.
There's a pelican in her piety, which we have discovered is a symbol of redemption and charity because she pokes out her own breast
To feed
to
her
feed
young.
her young. But
Look how the things are. Sorry, you go.
no, it's all right. Go on.
You see how there would have been either a statue or an image painted on there, and they've gone. They've been removed.
Now, William Dowsing, he came here twice. He very rarely saw the need to revisit a church unless he thought there was going to be trouble here, and there was. He was held back for 2 hours. He couldn't get in. And he, on his second visit, he noted the font cover, and all he said is it's glorious. Now, there is an interpretation by someone online who says that he was being quite scornful of it.
Yeah.
He was being a bit snobbish, a bit prudish. Or he could have just been kicking himself that he hadn't seen it. But a lot of the carvings in there, the saints and things that you can see in there now, they were taken out about 100 years before Dowsing came. And if Paul can sort of show you, like in that recess there, look, the little one there.
Yes.
And there's another one here. They are more modern carvings. These were taken out.
You see there's an empty spot there for one?
These were taken out 100 years or so before Dowsing came during the Reformation period.
So we talk.
So you've got another one here, look, another carving there.
There's a St John there, but St John in Anglican terms, he gets left alone, doesn't he?
Yeah. But, and when it was restored, they found all this wonderful, wonderful colour and gilt work on it.
Yeah, it's incredible.
You can sort of see how wonderful this would have been.
Let's have a look round here. Let's get a close up there. There's a painting there that's been covered. See if you can see that.
There obviously has been things that are painted on there that's been scratched out.
Probably see it better on the camera because I'm using linen washing line camera stand at the moment. Shame this.
So the restoration was completed in 1988, and that was when a lot of the original colour was revealed.
So it's not been added to, it's just been cleaned up so you can actually see what's there. Because they would have...
You just look at the detail of the little bit of painting you could see.
I did, I just got a close-up. I'm going to go back to that because it's just incredible. Look at that.
Yeah, it is.
A bit of gold there, like.
But we reckon that from the floor where we're standing now to the very top of that pelican probably reaches the roof of our house.
Yes.
And that is how tall this is.
But look at the roof. Look, when they've done this church, they've cleaned up a lot of medieval painting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you an idea of it.
You've got sacred monograms on the planks of wood.
Yeah, that would have been covered up. There's painting on the wood.
Yeah.
Look at that, all the timbers, there's like a barley twist pattern all painted on it.
Yeah.
If we look up there to where there's an opening for a sanctus bell.
Yeah.
Actually, did you notice there's an opening on the outside for a sanctus bell? Does the same...
I think that, well, the sanctus bell is for anybody who's ringing the sanctus bell, they can see what's going on at the altar.
Oh.
And they know at what point to ring that bell.
Yeah, if you've ever been to a Catholic mass, you'll know what that's all about.
So if you've got a bell opening on the outside, I would assume that is
Stations of the...
I would assume that's so that you could hear the bells ring, because how else do you know when you're going to go to a church in the medieval times?
You wouldn't.
You don't know when there's a clock or a watch.
Somewhere outside there is a
scratch dial. We're going to hopefully see that in a bit. Now, these bench ends, they are 15th century and they're just amazing.
It's exquisite. Even look at the rail that runs along them.
And this is a carver's interpretation of these animals.
Yeah.
We don't know what these animals are. There's supposed to be a camel here. I can't find that camel, but it is here.
We'll have a look,
There's a stag, and you think you'd see that with the big horns, but this is a carver's interpretation.
You could argue that that's been just broken away from use, but if you look, it's always the feet that are left. Every single one's got the feet.
Yeah.
Look there, look. See?
There's a queen or a king there. Now, is that modern?
Let's have a look. Where am I looking? Or somebody's repaired that end there. It's a nice bit
Yeah,
of...
no, here, look.
Oh,
Actually, I think that is St Margaret and St Catherine.
oh yeah, and St Catherine up the end there. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I got that wrong at the beginning there, didn't I?
Yeah, I don't know why she's shivering. She's got a radiator behind her.
So Margaret is on the right and Catherine is on the left. Yes, you can definitely
You can
see
see,
that.
look how many of those pews have got animals and how many have been
Yeah.
removed. Look at the wear on the backs of the pews where people have lent.
Yeah.
How many look at that one at the back. How many
Yeah.
generations of heavy coats and things have rubbed on that on a Sunday.
And this is the thing, isn't it? You see, you've got your hand on here and this has been smoothed.
Yeah.
You know, it's been smoothed away by hundreds of people grabbing hold of this to remove themselves in there or to pull themselves up during a service. You know, you've got a face in here.
Yeah.
You know, and all these are a bit more modern than these ones. These are the oldest ones here.
Yeah.
These are slightly
These are
newer.
a bit more, not a lot.
Slightly, but
Just a little. There's a monkey there, look.
but you've got shields here, look.
Yeah. Beautiful shields. That one there, look, he's lost half his head.
It is, it's just...
Look at that bird, look.
It is amazing. Now, somewhere where we're standing,
Yes.
there is a brass, and I've got a feeling, what might be that there?
Brass? Oh, I've missed a brass.
You have Mr. Brass. Off you go.
Off we go. Here to see the brass. Right. Is it a broad? I think it is. It's just a vault.
Is it?
Highmore vault. Because this floor, like most churches, where there is, it's just the floor's just absolutely full of
Yeah.
vaults and tombs and whatnot.
Yeah.
Right, shall we head off next?
Here you go.
That way.
Oh, not unless you're finished with the font. Look, it's got a shield with paint on it.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Let's just go back to the font. See that? There were remains of paint on it. And that would have been, you know, the Puritans would have scratched that out, because we've said it often before. We are in...
If you wanted to do this, because this is a no, it's not. It's got saints and things on it. And I don't really... I think it's the cover.
The cover has. This hasn't.
Yeah.
This is just... It's got that rose, which I'm guessing is a Tudor rose.
Yeah. It's shields, so it's obviously...
The shields, but it's still got colour on, like, as you can see.
But you've got clockwise, if you stand from the west and go clockwise on this, you've got Withburger.
With burger.
And I think it must be her. No, that's John up there, isn't it?
That's John, yeah.
That's John. So I'm just going to tell you who's on the
On the font cover, not on the font itself.
on the front cover, but
Right.
that says John.
That's John,
there.
yes, John, yeah.
But we've got Withburger, Ethelreda, Margaret, Mary Magdalene, Bernard or Dominic,
Hang on, I'm going around because
and
it's a bit busy in
Cecilia,
here.
and then a modern figure, St John, stands on the principal niche,
Yeah,
which must be that one.
That
that's
one
got
there.
his name on it.
but look, you can see that. Just going to the font cover, look at that, the painting, you can make it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could. Wish
Yeah,
our washing line was a bit higher. Needs to be about 3 times as long, and we could show you the pelican up close.
But babe, look at
Where?
the roof, at those big angels, the
Yes.
last ones.
The last ones are really amazing. Up
They
here,
Yeah, those
they are
ones there.
amazing.
They're not obviously originals.
No, they've been replaced. Because we looked in the porch, you can actually see the peg holes where the angels or
Yeah.
whatever was there has been removed.
Yeah.
You can see where the wooden pegs went in to hold them.
Yeah.
Because this is a bit of a... Somebody's put a beam in there where the rood screen probably
No.
went.
Dowsing wrote in his journal that when he first come here in January 1643, he ordered 40 cherubims to be taken down of wood. And he wrote 30 superstitious pictures and reeved 6 superstitious inscriptions in brass. He left orders for more work to be done. He was back in May and in August, mutilating the chancel roof, smashing up the organ case, amongst other things.
Yeah.
But was kept waiting for 2 hours for the key, and obviously had trouble with obstructive and obtuse church wardens, sexton and constable. And according to villagers, he sent men to rifle the church. and went about to pull down the church and had carried away part of the church. I don't know what part of that was.
No.
Ufford has by far the longest entry in his journal, and although he describes the front cover as being glorious, like the Pope's triple crown, he seems to have spared it in the main. Although there's a guy called Simon Knott. He has a website. It's absolutely amazing. And he travels around Suffolk, Norfolk and Essex, and I think Cambridge. I'm sure Simon will tell me differently if he's not doing it. It's well worth having a look at his website because he does go around on a bike, he takes photographs and he does a write-up on it on his website. It's brilliant. It's suffolkchurches.co.uk. But he writes on his website that his comment that it was an anti-Catholic innuendo. The word glorious in the 17th century meant about the same as the word pretentious means to us now, and Dowsing was scoffing. But he didn't mention the cover he had visited the church for the second time.
Now, I don't know if you've noticed this. I'm going to angle the camera around so I can get some really funny things. We have the remains of the road. And as you can see, look, we've got panels here with images that have been painted out, scratched out, what have you. I don't know if you can make out the beautiful designs in there of stars. But let's have a look. There we go, there's panels. And the same the other side. Because I think, from what you're saying, by the iconoclast visit, that this place was a bit resistant. It hung on to a lot of the old stuff.
And if the church warden thought that the priest was a little bit bullshit, they'd pull him into line or they'd report him.
Well, that was the job of a warden, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was to keep.
You can see, you can just about make out a saint. There's two left here. I don't know if you, there's furniture in the way, so it's difficult, but if you can make that out. Now, that would have been scratched out in 1400 and something.
Yeah.
And it survived here. They've put a beam up there, which is obviously a replacement. It's too good a wood. You can see the old exit for the rood loft. That's where your little choir boys and people would have gone. This end up here.
According to my notes, that rood beam is the same age as the rood screen.
Oh, is it? It looks very good. It's got some mouldings on the front. Actually, if you look at it from the back here,
it's got the same patterns.
Yeah. If you look at it, you can see it's got bits painted and bits have been taken away. And there's the back of the remaining rood screws. Always plainer from this side, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, Mel, tell us about the chancel.
Well, I think you're doing rather well. You've got,
obviously
you can see here that there are little bits of medieval glass here. Look at the bottom there.
Yeah, in the windows, yeah.
So you can see that you've had the Reformation sweep through here. You've had the iconoclast sweep through here. And remove anything that was Catholic.
So there's the priest door.
Yeah.
Niche up here. I've seen this before. I've often wondered what that is.
Well, it might just be a little personal water stoop.
It is a little water stoop. Like you can see, you could put a holy water. Well, you can put anything in there now. You could put tomato soup if you wanted to. But let's have a look at the windows.
I don't know. I think you might be standing on a ledge of stone that would have had brass on it.
Yeah, it's been removed.
Yeah.
So Legistone is the top of a crypt or tomb.
Yeah.
Oh, what we got down there? Little.
I could have told you who those saints were on that road screen, by the way.
Could you?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll do that when we go back.
Yeah. But look at the glass to your right.
Yeah, that's very old.
Yeah.
Very old. I'm not going to go in there because there's a rope across the sanctuary, so...
We don't go in there if the communion rails are shut.
No, I never do. If you can see, look at that. Look, there's a little ledges. Have a look. I'm going to angle this up just so we can see the ceiling. I'm going to go like that.
Look at the symbology in the shields.
Yes.
Now this is obviously industry.
Yeah.
That's
Cloth
around
making.
here in Ufford. So you've got what, cloth making, so it could be wool, satin
Hammers.
flour, I suppose could be for agriculture. I don't know what the clippers would be for.
Sheep.
Yeah, that's what I
You
thought.
see, this is the money from around here. Let's have a look at let's have a look through the nave at the woodwork.
Have you seen the angels that on the coving part of
Yeah. Let's go back to this. Can you see that in there? Look. Isn't that amazing? That survived. Probably because they're high up. They must be 6 metres up, because that's about as high as I got from this my house. Whoop, got dropping down. I'll just keep showing the roof, because it is amazing.
It is.
The back of the rood.
We've got the egg timer, but I think that's a modern.
That's a modern one. That's digital. Yeah.
So do you want to go back to this?
Let's go back to this rood screen a moment, because it's all
I'm going to tell you.
right.
From left to right.
From left to right.
We've got Agnes.
So hang on, let's bend this up a bit.
Now I think I've actually got less saints than there are panels.
6, 12 we've got.
Right, those on the safe side. So it's the ones on the safe side.
South side's down here. Let's go with it first of all.
Left to right is Agnes.
Left to right. Oh, this is Agnes.
Yep.
I'm just going to pull his chairs forward a bit, because this is beautiful. Just let the camera adjust. St Agnes.
So we've got St Agnes, and then we've got St Celia.
St Celia, you're breaking my heart.
And then we've got Agatha.
Agatha. Who's
and
next?
Then Faith.
Yep.
We've got Bridget of Kildare.
Oh, Bridget of Kildare, yeah. Oh, fair enough.
And the last lady on there is Florence.
There we go. But that's funny, if you look, you can see. Let's go. You put the chair back. If you have a look, actually don't for a second, because just something I'm pointing out. You can see how this panel look. There's big lumps of wood, how it's been chonked about and moved about.
It's had something. We went to a church last week or week before where we had the West Hall, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was West Hall, yeah.
Where they had these big wedges cut out, and it looks to me like a piece of wood has been put in there, and then you had some more wood put up there, and that would have blocked that from view. So
let's just have a look, because this is unusual. It's got Stations of the Cross.
Yeah.
I've seen them as pictures in Anglican Church, but never seen these. This is what you'd expect to see now.
Amazing.
And we've got St Mary. Have we got time on this film to go into the?
I think we're going to just end that, and then we'll go in there.
Okay. And you find us back here with the old chapel.
Now this is dedicated to St Leonard, and Sir Ninian Comper designed the fittings as a World War I memorial.
Wow.
So it's just a simple oak screen. I think if it was an old thing, you'd probably call it a park oak screen, if I'm honest. And then you've got a dark green and gold reredos there with a sculptured crucifixion group in the centre.
Let's go in and have a look. We've got a beautiful window.
He also designed the east window in there.
So there we go. Here's the east window. This is incredible. I just want to. I don't know if you get this.
There's a strawberry emblem in there, and that's his emblem. It's Comper's emblem.
Right.
I don't know if you can see that. There's a strawberry emblem somewhere.
If we can see from the bottom of the window, we've got a castle, we've got artillery, we've got the navy. Let's go from the left. Got a sailor there helping with the cross. Going up. Just trying to find. If you see the strawberry emblem, shout out, won't you? And I just want to.
There's people probably going at their street. It's there.
It's there. It's there. But this is amazing. Proper First World War. There is Tommy helping with the cross with a Roman soldier behind him. The guy, look, puttees, boots. Oh, wow, he's even down to these buckles and his little tin hat. I mean, it's just incredible. And I would imagine the glass above it is much older. It looks darker in colour. But
there's also an early English piscina in there.
There is. Look, let's have a look.
Look at that. It's an angle one. It's on two sides.
It is. Look, there you can see. Basically, it's a sink.
And there's the cedilla next to it.
And the cedilla, which is the big seat. And we go back. This bit of the church, as we can see there, we've got some names there from the Second World War. But this has been converted. this part of the church has been converted and added to
And don't
as a
forget,
memorial.
There's medieval stencil decoration on that wall as
There,
well.
there is. Let's have a look at that. I mean, it probably doesn't look much. It might come out better on camera, but there's pictures of roses and that.
Why don't you get up closer?
Let's get really close to it and have a look. Because if we look at this, the interior of most churches before the times of sort of Henry VIII, Edward, and sort of Elizabeth I, this is how the church would have been. It'd been a right colour in here.
Yeah.
And it's all gone. I'm just going to show you this.
If you turn anti-clockwise, you can see there's a door.
Yes, there is.
Go on, you love these.
Oh, this is the door. This one's actually locked up, but when we looked at the rood screen outside, this is the doorway to go through to get up to the rood loft. Actually, it's quite big.
Yeah.
We can't see it open, so...
but it's still going to be very tight.
It's going to be very tight. You're going to be tiny people.
It's right above it on the other side.
Yeah.
It's going to be practically a ladder in there.
I'm gonna come round to the outside. Let's come back outside of this little chapel, and the woodwork on this is incredible. Just close that. There we go. There's the Virgin Mary. Let's have a look up on the wall, and there's the old. It's been half blocked up. Can you see it on camera? There it is. There, we've got the, that's where people would have crawled out onto a platform on top of here, and that's where your choir would have been. Because beyond here, although we've got shields and stuff and angels that have been put in there, and some really rather beautiful woodwork, it's probably been quite plain up there. But, yeah, let's have a look. More Stations of the Cross. We've done it. Funerary hatchments. This has many. I mean, that font cover is something else. But if I can just show you up in the roof again, look, if you can see the angels, they would have been knocked down at some point in the Reformation, and somebody's put them back in. Angels is an East Anglian thing. It's a local thing with churches. We had angels in the roof beams, but let's head out.
Funerary hatchments up here, and you've got them for Robert Owen, 1B. I'm just trying to see who else
we got.
Here. If you just bear with me, I will try and find out who they all are.
Yeah, these funerary hatchments were a thing. Nobody does them anymore, but they sort of died out in the mid-19th century. But
well, what it was is,
let's have a go around
if you
this side.
had a big house with lords and things, they would have a funerary hatchment, and it would be hung in their house for about 6 months.
Ah, right, yeah.
And then after 6 months, it'd be transferred to the church.
Shall we? Let's. Okay, we'll stop it there and we'll head outside.
All right, we're now come outside. We've come outside a little bit abruptly, I know, because somebody's just come in. So
yeah, we don't like filming people. It's
got a double cross up there, look.
It has. That would have been taken down at some point, but that's newer, isn't it?
It is. It's got a lot of age to it, but it's not.
I don't know if you can see up there under the eaves of that roof, under that roof line there. You can actually see the timbers that we see from the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is these churches were
headstops. Look.
Yes, headstops on the windows there.
But these are sort of like early perpendicular windows here, aren't they?
Yes, yeah. It's very of its time.
Yeah.
But it's just a little corker, and what we find amazing is this one's. It feels a bit rebellious because there's bits of this have hung on.
Well, it's quite a sad thing, I suppose, about the priest here.
Oh yeah, tell us about the priest, because this is an interesting
I will do.
fact. Nice shield above the door there.
It.
And what does the three? There you go. Got the 3 crowns. What does that mean?
That is the Delapole shields.
Ah.
Now the Delapole family. If you see our very, very, very first video of Wingfield,
that's the same people.
that is the same people.
Ah, yeah, they're the big lords of the manor.
The Wingfields.
Let's have a look.
Sorry, the Delapoles. So that is that.
That's the priest door there, what we saw from the inside.
It is the priest door.
And look what I found. And this is quite an ornate one. Like, can you make out the scratch dial there? Because that is how you'd work your time out. Can you imagine before clocks?
Right, so while we're at the priest door,
Yep.
look at the head stops on that. Aren't they amazing?
They are gorgeous.
I've got a real thing about head stops. I think there's more on that check window there. So Richard Lovekin, he was a rector here. He'd been inducted in 1631, but he was stripped of all his possessions, save a silver spoon that he had hidden up his sleeve of his robe.
It's a bit like UNT shops, isn't it?
It is. No,
Ow.
it's not. And he was turned out of his living, so he was effectively sacked and turned out of his house or whatever. He did survive, however, and came back at the Restoration. So any time from 1660 onwards, he came back here. And he served his parish until 1678, when he died, aged 111 years old, having preached the Sunday before. You know, people think that you didn't live to a great old age.
Well, he sort of shook
in
it.
the 1600s. And he's not the first one we've come across as
No.
100. There was
No, we've had a few
a
more.
while ago, wasn't there? I can't think who it
Beautiful
was.
carving in that window.
So that's the Delapole shield.
Oh,
on
look at
there.
this! Look at this! Look at this! Somebody's done a headstone there with a poppy end on it.
So the tower of this church had started being built in the 14th century and was finished in the
East
50s.
window. Yeah.
I'm going to go through that.
We're
for us.
not. I don't think it's a good idea to walk round now. I think what we'll do, we'll by the magic of video editing, we will do that as well. So we come back. This is the tower.
Now the tower began in the 14th century and it was completed in the 50s. And you can see it's quite well proportioned with 3 striking courses up there.
It is gorgeous.
It is, and it's a mixture of brick. It's got a base course, a flint checker,
Let's go round.
diagonal buttresses. It's an amazing tower.
Oh, well, he went over headstone there. Oh, let's have a look at the outside. We have got St Mary there and the saints. We filmed this bit, didn't we?
Yeah.
Did we film it? We did, we did. You've seen that bit, right?
did.
Onwards. Right, let's have a look at the tower.
So this is the 15th century porch here as well. Don't know if we showed you all of it from the outside.
But it's gorgeous. The niches.
And
Even
we've got
this
George and the Dragon.
stonework under there.
Yeah. Then we've got George and the Dragon.
There's George. There's said dragon.
Yeah.
There's a headless whoever.
But even in the flushwork, it's like this idea of niches look.
Yeah. It follows through. And stars with shields. The shields are gone, but
Yeah.
we have a look there. But isn't that just amazing?
Mm-hmm.
The weather's getting the windows a little bit now. Isn't that beautiful? Let's have a look up at the tower. That's that opening up there that I thought might have been an opening for the Sanctus Bell.
No.
No?
Sanctus bells for the inside. They're probably just bell opening so you can hear the bells.
Let's have a look. Old doorway through into the bell tower. Lovely golden St Mary up there.
And she's quite modern. She's not that old.
No, that's been replaced. But
Yeah.
something that's amazing is...
Look at the fluorons in the door.
yes, let's have a look. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? Let's have a look at that. Just amazing. Probably 600 years old now, 700 years. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Well, 14th, 15th century.
Right. Let's have a look round the side of the church while we're here. Onwards. We've got to be careful, there's a bit of a festival going on at the minute, which has got beer, and I've got an allergy to beer.
I've got an allergy to your allergy of having beer, because it normally means I've got to drive home.
Yeah, that's true. No, I'm allergic. 4 or 5 pints of beer.
Down there and close
That's it. Look at the clerestory windows. And look at the little vestry down there. Even got its own little fireplace. Okay, thanks. Until next time, join us again.